Enchanting is one of the activities that you should be engaging in Oblivion if you really want to get your character to get real strong. And there's easy ways to go about it, and there's also a little bit more of a complex way to go about it. Obviously, the easy way is going to be a little bit more simple, and it's not going to offer that much of a reward. And the complex one, which is simplified thanks to the remaster/remake that we have in here, let's just dive right into it. What is the easiest way for me to enchant weapons? Well, as you can see with the gameplay that I have in the background, I am doing a Oblivion gate. To close an Oblivion gate, you have to obtain the sigil. When you get the sigil, you're going to get it for free permanently for yourself. That sigil, you can just interact with it and craft whatever spells that whatever enchantment is located on that sigil, and it's always going to be different, and it's always going to be dependent on the sigil that you recovered. You cannot have several spells and weapons from sigils, but you can by regular enchanting. Right in here, let me show you that this is one of the sigils that I got from that Oblivion gate that I just got right there. It's the Descendant Sigil stone. All you have to do is just equip it, and it's going to give you what is it that you are going to get from this sigil if you equip it on a weapon or you equip it on a armor. If you apply it on armor, it's going to give you Night Eye on yourself. If you equip it on a weapon, it's going to give you 5 points right in here, 5 points of shock damage on strike. That is the simple way to go about it. However, if you really want to get into the real good enchanting, you are going to need to... There's two ways to go about it as well. Thanks to the remaster, everything's done much simpler and easy. This used to be a DLC. Thank God that they included the DLC, the add-on in here. Essentially, you would have to go to, basically on the base game, you would have to go to every single major town and complete the mage's recommendation quest that would give you access to the mage university, to the magic university on the Imperial City. And that would give you access to these little things that we have right here, the altars of enchanting. However, that is no longer that much of a requirement. It takes quite a long time for you to do so. All you have to do now is come to the Frostcrag Spire, which is right in here. The fastest way to get there would be to travel to the Wild Eye stables and just directly go in here walking. You're also going to need some salts that you're going to purchase from a merchant. So to actually get the enchanting table for the Frostcrag Spire, we have to come into the merchant market district in the Imperial City, and we're going to go into the Mystic Emporium, which is towards the right side. Right in here in the Mystic Emporium is going to be just right in here. This is the location that we want to go to. I am not going to the merchant that we're going to be needing the item. He's not going to have it for me right now, I believe, because I have already purchased it. I'm not sure if she's going to have it anymore, but it should be around in here somewhere. Now this is where it gets interesting, because now I'm going to be able to craft my enchanted weapons. But to be able to enchant weapons, I need to know spells, because it's actually the spells that you're going to be placing in your weapons. There's 3 components to enchanting a weapon. First, you are going to need your either weapon or your armor, and then you're going to need a soul gem. It also needs to add a soul on it already, so you cannot just add like a basic one without a soul on it. And it's going to tell you right here what type of soul do you have on that soul gem. The higher the soul that you have in there, the more charges the spell it's going to have. So in here we're going to be using the greater soul gem. Now, how do I get the effects to actually enchant them on my weapon? Well, you need to know the base spell, the actual spell that you can cast for it, and you have to be able to cast the spell. It's not enough if you only know the spell on it and you cannot cast it. So let me give you an example. If we're going to be giving it fire damage, this actually comes from fire damage on touch. And here we're also going to be able to set up some parameters, and the amount of the efficiency on the spell that we can give to it is also going to be based on the quality of the gem that we are using. So as you can see right in here, I can only get like those 60, and I cannot give it anything more. So if I were to be wanting to add more stuff in here, I wouldn't be able to. It's also going to increase the overall something. But I do want to be clear, because this is also something very confusing for new players. You have to be able to cast the spell, to know the spell, and then be able to cast it before you can actually enchant a weapon or a piece of gear on it. So the flame touch in here requires, I believe, apprentice into destruction, and this is going to be the fire damage and touch. This is the one that we're using to deal fire damage with our weapon. You will see in here with a weapon example that I'm about to show you on what is it that I believe to be the best possible, at least damaging spell that you can give to a weapon. That I have, for example, something very powerful that I like to do back in the days of the Oblivion, the base Oblivion, is to add the weakness to a specific element. Give your weapon a specific element, and then weakness to the element, and then weakness to the magic against the person that is receiving the damage. So it stacks everything in here. And I have purchased the weakness to magic, on target. But as you can see, my skill level in destruction is not high enough yet for me to be able to cast it. So even when I select it, I cannot cast it because my skill level is too low. So even when I have already prepared the spell, I have it with me, I cannot use that to enchant a weapon with a weakness like I would be able to place weakness to fire or to frost into my weapon. As for armor and gear, you're only going to be able to select something, like just something that you're going to be able to give it to the armor, and you cannot alter it. The actual effect is going to be based more than anything on the actual quality of the gem that you are using, so this is always going to be fixed on the armor. There really is nothing that major when it comes to enchanting armors. So what would be the most powerful damaging weapon that I can craft, that I can make and deal a crap ton of damage? So I do have a couple of gear in here that I can use to exemplify. I don't have all of the components that I want to use right now for the weapon to be doing what is it that I want to be doing, but I like to give it like all of the elements, and I like to give it 10 points, because remember that we're going to be stacking a whole bunch of spells depending on the amount of damage that you give to it. So you can give it like crazy amounts in here, but you will see that the actual soul gem that I'm using, it's not high enough for me to be able to bypass all of that. So how can I do to get more with less? So we're just going to be making a 10 points in here. I also advise that you give it this example of a weapon that I'm making, a soul trap, so that you can be retroactive and be getting your souls back, so that you can be recharging your weapon back and forth whenever you use it, because it's going to deplete quite fast. But we have it in here, we already have the fire damage, and then we're also going to give it 10 points into frost damage. We're also going to give it 10 points into shock damage, and that would be the base, but remember that I should also have the soul trap. Now we want to give it a weakness, and the weakness is not actually going to alter that much the amount of value that we have on the weapon and the charges that the weapon has. So we have the charges right here, so we can increase the magnitude of how much fire damage is it going to be receiving, and also we can increase the magnitude of how much frost damage is this thing receiving right in here. So these are the components that I have for my weapon. I'm still missing the weakness to shock damage, and if you remember, I have the weakness to magic damage, but my destruction is not on journeyman level yet. I need destruction journeyman level to be able to cast a spell, to be able to place it on top of my weapon. The same thing happens for Soul Trap. You will see in here that I have already prepared my Soul Trap into my magic. I already have it right in here. But as you can see, my skill level is too low. This also applies for the cost, because I have, for example, a superior Soul Trap in here that the level doesn't matter that much, but the cost of the magicka, I do not meet the cost of the magicka. I cannot cast it because of the magicka cost. So I need to, every single condition needs to be met for me to be able to make that weapon. So ideally, that's like basically what I would consider to be one of the most powerful weapons that you can make with Enchanting, giving 10 points into every single element, and then 100% of weakness to that element, and then 100% to magicka, overall to magic damage, and then a Soul Trap so that you can be using it at your leisure. And that's it. If you like the content, I like and really super appreciate it. Nostalgia that you gorgeous and beautiful person. You're into the gorgeous and beautiful person. Subscribe to the channel. You're on Discord. Have a beautiful day and goodbye.